can the Patriots go further than the Bucs?
Can they? Sure, but I don't believe they will. I mean, I haven't jumped off the Bucs bandwagon. I'm not there yet. I believe in Tom Brady, and I believe that, whatever ails them, he has the potential to fix. And this is the part about Tom Brady's greatness, that these two are far more qualified than I'd ever be to say, but I think they'll back me on this. One of the components that really speaks to the greatness of a quarterback is not the heroic plays that they make or whatever. It's their ability to manipulate and dictate just the game overall. Tom Brady is the kind of person that can go into a playoff game, and it's not just about Antonio Brown and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Rob Gronkowski or Leonard Fournette running the football or an offensive line blocker for him. He's looking at his secondary. Yeah. He's looking at his defensive line. He's looking at the overall productivity of a defense. He's imagining what that defense is going to be able to do against that offense. And he games plan within the crevices of his mind about what I need to do to dictate this game in a fashion that's going to offset whatever the defense might cause as a problem for me. So in other words, I sit up there and I got faith in my defense. Well, I can air it out and we can get into a shootout and it's cool. Or if I believe that this team will pick our defense apart or whatever, then I engage in ball control because I want to keep the ball out of their hands. Right. Let me slow it down. It's similar, believe it or not, to what LeBron James does when he's on the basketball court. The greatness of LeBron James, but also what makes it difficult to play for him. If you're a guy that you're a star, you want the ball, give me the ball, like Kyrie Irving. Give me the ball, because he wanted to be that guy. But LeBron James has the ball in his hands. And Molly, this is exactly what he does. He grabs the ball and he looks. Where's the mismatch? So if I sit up there, all right, Mike, come pick this dude off because I want this dude right here. Right. Or come pick him off because I want this dude right here. And that way, that could lead to you getting the ball because this particular play, I need you to get off. I'll come in and I'll get mine later. This is what Tom Brady does on the football field. That's why I believe in Tom Brady, because the Patriots, as great as I think Mac Jones has the potential to be in that system, he's not that yet.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. You add what I add to it is he knows how to work on their minds. I mean, last year when we were talking about going to the Super Bowl, and I heard he was texting everybody saying we will win. That's saying, I know maybe you don't believe this, but we will win, and convince them. What this truly comes down to is, okay, I think Pats go farther than Tampa go farther than Pats. Let's look at the top teams in each conference. I mean, okay, in the past, the top team, we just talked KC, Bills, and Tennessee. Over there in Tampa, it's Dallas, Green Bay, the Rams, and Arizona. And whew.
NFC's way
tougher. That's what I'm saying. So that really makes this a tough question when you talk about that.
NBA for a while.
100%.
When you talk about that, this really makes it a tough question. But I just still got to ride with Tampa on it.
No, both of y'all wrong. The Pats will go further than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There you go. I said it. Since y'all want to play it, oh yes, they can go further, but I'm not going to say that they will, because if they will, then you got Tom Brady. Hey man. Just watch the games. Like for the greatness of Tom Brady, and you're talking about all the things that he could do, hey, Bill Belichick can too, right? And Bill Belichick also coaches that defense. Bill Belichick went out in the offseason and said, you know what? I know Kendrick Bourne's not a star, but he's a good number 2, number 3. Let's bring him over. Right? I know I could go get Hunter Henry, and I can get Jonnu Smith, and look at this stable of backs that I have now. Defensively, Matthew Judon, probably the best free agent pickup in all of the NFL, right? You got J.C. Jackson, who's a star. What does that allow you to do? You could get rid of now you could get rid of Gilly because you got a number 1. When you watch this team play, Stephen A., there is no team that you look at in the AFC and you say right now, I'm always going to take them over the Patriots, right? You look at the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills, from a roster standpoint, are probably the best team in the AFC. The Tennessee Titans, as what we've seen on the grass, they are the best team right now. In a one-game, winner-take-all, with Bill Belichick on the sideline, I don't know if I can pick those teams over the New England Patriots. I feel like there are teams in the NFC right now you pick over Tampa Bay.
A couple of things, because I want to pick you apart here, because I'm very sick and tired of your disrespect. Number one, the question was, any chance? That's why I answered the question that way. Had they said Patriots going further than Bill Belichick. Yes or no? But the question was, any chance that happens? Well, yeah, there's a chance. That's number one. Number two.
There's a chance for everything.
Number two, I'm sick and tired of you implying that people don't watch the game. Let me tell you something.
Ain't nobody implying that you didn't.
I'll FaceTime you during the game.
Stephen A,
because
you know what my favorite saying is? A hit dog will holler. I ain't implying nothing.
Okay,
a hit dog will holler.
Let me say this to you.
Guilty conscience needs no accuser.
Well, you know I'm watching the games.
I know. So that's what my mom used to say
I
to
will
me.
FaceTime you during the game. I'll interrupt you. I'll interrupt you while you're eating and watching the football game. You understand what I'm saying? And number three, and more importantly, we understand that I can watch games as a reporter, know what the hell that I'm saying, and I can't scratch the surface of your football knowledge or your football knowledge. My greatness comes from knowing that I'm not. I just
there you go with that
from
again.
those that are brilliant at it, and I steal their knowledge. And this is what I do, and I watch it, and I know when you're being hypocritical. And here's the deal: there have been a few times this year, despite your brilliance, unquestionable brilliance, covering the game of football, the both of you, I picked apart both of y'all being wrong on a few occasions this season. Y'all ain't got flawless records, so you can believe.
Ain't nobody
You can believe the New England Patriots are going to get that point. But I'll say this to you: Tennessee, you just pointed out.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's going to be back on playoff time, and they're doing this now.
Yeah.
Buffalo, by the way. Buffalo gets smoked by Jacksonville, right? But what happens? What does Buffalo get up for?
hasn't really beat
You
anyone
know
yet.
Buffalo. I'm saying, what do they get up for? Now that McDonough's
like
right
nobody
there,
else.
and
New England like nobody else.
New England,
Yep.
You
Like
see what I'm
nobody
saying?
else.
So I know the road overall looks tougher,
RC,
but New England, watch it.
I'm with you, but New England hasn't really beat anyone outside of the Chargers either. Because I don't think it's fair to say the Browns, because they didn't have Hunt, they didn't have Chubb.
Yeah,
they
no,
didn't have Felton.
listen. Like when you start going down resumes, and we look
Yeah.
at a lot of these teams, there are teams with very slim resumes,
Yeah,
right?
the Bills included, and part of that's because the AFC is not as good. I get it.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.